If you're new to lifting, it's easy to gravitate towards the show muscles. You'll see a lot of avid gym goers doing bench press and bicep curls and often neglecting their back. Let me start by saying I'm not a certified personal trainer or a physical therapist. I'm just sharing with you what's worked well for me. With that being said, I've spent countless hours over the last 15 years reading articles, trying different rep schemes and sets, and experimenting with my own training to see what works the best. Over the past 9 months, there's only been 4 back exercises that I've done. Not only have I been able to completely eliminate this nerve pain I was getting between my shoulder blades, but it's honestly the best that my back and shoulders have felt in a very long time. First on the list is the banded pull-apart. I believe this is the most underrated back and shoulder development exercise of all time. This can be done in a few ways depending on the intensity you're going for. I prefer to do mine either with a pull-up band or with Olympic rings. If these options are too aggressive for your strength level, you can also use resistance bands instead of pull-up bands and progress that way. A pack of resistance bands will come with a bunch of different options so that you can work your way up as you get stronger. The beauty of the pull-up band is you can progress with the same size band just by moving your hands closer together to increase the resistance. Another way to progress other than increasing the resistance is simply by slowing down the eccentric portion to increase your time under tension. 2 of the biggest cues here to focus on are 1, actively pulling your shoulder blades down while you do this, rather than letting your shoulders rise. The other cue to think about is externally rotating your shoulders to finish the motion. Your rep scheme on this movement could go all the way from a heavy set of 4 up to a lighter set of 20. The most important thing is that at least the last 3 to 5 reps are challenging you. I prefer to work in a rep range of 4 to 8 on these with a heavier resistance band, as I found that works best for me. Second on the list is banded external rotation. Before I go any further, if you're liking the video so far, I would appreciate you giving it a thumbs up to help other people find the video. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe for new videos every Thursday. Banded external rotation is another highly underrated exercise. It's the exercise you know you should be doing, but no one actually does. Similar to the pull-aparts, you can use a pull-up band for this for higher intensity, or a resistance band for lower intensity, and work your way up. The same cues apply here to the pull-apart. You need to focus on pulling your shoulder blades down while you externally rotate your shoulder. Another thing to stay aware of is keeping your elbow as tucked in as you can, and really controlling the eccentric portion. The same rep scheme applies to this exercise as the banded pull-apart, anywhere from 4 to 20 reps. And again, you want at least 3 to 5 of those reps to be pretty challenging. This movement in general you usually see with a physical therapist, going for higher reps and lower intensity. But I found a lot of benefit from really pushing this and going for 4 to 6 reps with a higher intensity in the pull-up band. The most important thing is work within a range where you can still keep the form. Third on the list is a pull-up, chin-up, pull-up complex. 3 sets, with the first one being pull-ups, the next being chin-ups, and the last being pull-ups. The reason I prioritize pull-ups over chin-ups is again having the shoulders in external rotation during the movement. For the first set, I like to start with a wider grip because in general that's going to be the hardest movement. For this exercise, I recommend lower reps. I personally use sets of 4 to 8 reps. I think for most, anywhere from 4 to 12 reps is going to be your best bet. If you're able to do 12 clean bodyweight pull-ups, I suggest challenging yourself by adding extra weight with the dip belt. If you can't do a bodyweight pull-up, this is where pull-up bands come in. They're amazing for progressing to bodyweight pull-ups, and are also great if you can already do bodyweight pull-ups, but want to mix it up with a higher volume, lower intensity set. Last on the list is the bent over row. You may be thinking to yourself, no heavy deadlifts? I have nothing against the deadlift, and it's an amazing exercise for overall strength and power development. but I don't think they're a necessity for building a stronger, pain-free back. The barbell bent over row still challenges the lower back and full posterior chain through the glutes and hamstrings with an isometric hold while rowing the weight. Another version of the row would be to do an Australian pull-up on rings or a low horizontal bar. The reason I prefer the bent over row instead with my current protocol is because I'm not doing any heavy deadlifting. You need something to help strengthen the lower back more if you aren't deadlifting, and bent over rows help check that box. It's critical to train your lower back, but this area can also get dangerous if you're pushing into fatigue and breaking form. Because of this, I like to keep this exercise in a lower rep range of 4 to 8 and make sure the form is very strict. You should be using the weight that you can control enough to have a brief pause between each rep with the bar touching your chest. And use the same cue of actively pulling your shoulder blades down when you squeeze the bar to your chest. The best way to load into this is by starting with a deadlift and then dropping your hips back as you lower into the position to start your set. If you can't tell, a recurring theme in all of these exercises is keeping your shoulder blades squeezed down and also externally rotating your shoulders. So many of us work on a computer now, sitting all day hunched over with our shoulders internally rotated, with our shoulders hunched up around our ears. For most people, the last thing you're going to need is more pressing movements with more internal rotation, or something like a shrug where your shoulders are going to be up by your ears. It's often a good way to approach your training by looking at what you do day to day and training the opposite in the weight room. A 2-to-1 pulling to pressing ratio, or back to chest ratio, is a great place to start for fixing any back or shoulder pain. I personally have greatly reduced my pressing movements and increased my pulling movements over the last 9 months since I've been training at home. One other thing I've implemented over the last 9 months is doing yoga twice a week. This helps strengthen the shoulders in full extension with a safe amount of load, which is also something a lot of training is lacking. Yoga naturally has more pressing movements, so this is another great substitute for other pressing movements in the weight room if you want to try out a bench press cleanse to see how you feel. So the last piece of the puzzle is how to program these 4 movements into your current routine. One of my favorite splits is an upper-lower split 4 days a week. Monday lower, Tuesday upper, Thursday lower, Friday upper. You could put 2 of these exercises on Tuesday, like the bent over row and banded pull-up parts, and then 2 of these exercises on Friday, like the pull-up chin-up complex and the banded external rotation. You could also do all of these exercises on both Tuesday and Friday, and just lower the total number of sets per exercise. The number of sets can be anywhere from 3 to 5, and reps could be anywhere from 4 to 20, depending on the exercise and loading scheme that aligns with your goals. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for new videos every Thursday.